Up, what's up, everybody? I'm Scott,
And I'm Jason.
and you are listening to Liquid Carnage. My friend, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. We made lemons out of lemonade, my friend. No, we
We
made
we
lemonade
did,
out of lemons.
we did. We should actually, as we're recording this, we should be having our annual fantasy football draft, but we had a last minute snafu, unrelated to our annual keeper snafu. But it is being fixed, so we are drafting here shortly after we finish recording. So uh, we thought we'd take this opportunity to record this week's show since we had some free time.
And I love it. I mean, obviously, I love it. What'd you do this weekend, my friend?
Oh man, we took off to Williams just to get out of town for Labor Day.
Oh, that
You
sounds
know,
good.
we went out with a bunch of friends. There was 8 or 9 kids running around the house up there this
Oh,
weekend.
well. Party foul. Party foul.
Oh my god, man. Oh my god. How the pendulum has swung. Gone are the days of hard
Oh my
partying and
gosh.
closing out bars. To
No, I mean, with kids, it totally changes, doesn't it? It
it
totally
does.
changes. Like
It,
everything that you want to do totally changes, unless you're one of those parents who says, you know what, mommy and daddy are having quiet party time. Sit in the corner, don't say a word.
oh yeah,
Thank
that
you.
didn't happen. Yeah, and so Friday night we had one, two, three. We had 5 kids up there Friday night, and 4 were girls, 1 was a boy. So the 4 girls decided to stay in a bed together in the bedroom and just play. And come to find out, it's because one of them had a cell phone with internet, so they could watch YouTube.
Oh,
That's what happens
okay.
now.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
It's all secret
Uh,
game.
Next night, they our friend Brian and friends Brian and Megan came with their kids. Brian set up a tent in the backyard. All the girls decided they wanted to sleep in the tent in the backyard Saturday night, so we let them.
And this boy is probably saying, what?
No, I mean Connor was fine, man. This kid was cool. I mean, there's football on. It's college kickoff weekend, and he just started playing travel football at like 7 years old, 8 years old. So all he wants to do is watch football.
Oh, man.
So so this kid, man, he sat there, he watched whatever game I put on, and he talked to people, but he was in front of that TV watching that game. Didn't matter if it was a replay or a college game or what it was. So it was pretty cool.
Oh, awesome. Wow. Good
Um,
kid. I love it. Love
yeah,
it.
right. It's great. So yeah, so
Damn.
Sunday morning, come to find out because there's a snitch in every group.
Uh,
One of the girls snitched him out that 3 of the girls in the tent decided they're going to stay up all night long, and they were intent to stay up until the sun came up. So,
are any of the girls part of your crew?
yes,
Oh, leave
yes,
it to the girls in your crew. Yeah, okay.
yes. Well, the youngest was a snitch too, so it kind of worked out.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
okay, cool.
because I think she was mad she fell asleep first, and then you know how that goes. So
I get it.
I decided at 7:30 in the morning that when all the adults were up and moving around, that if the adults are up, the kids should be up. So I'm
Oh, oh man. You know what
yeah,
though? That's partly a punishment to you potentially.
not really. I mean, at
Okay,
that point,
so when they're
I,
grumpy
I
and crying, sometimes it gets old.
I developed an abscess too over the weekend too, so I was not exactly in the best moods either on Sunday.
Got it.
So I was dealing with my own. You're gonna be up all night. Part of the fun is getting up early and powering through the tired. And I tell you what, man, when we came home on Sunday, there were 2 tired kids in that back, and one went to her dad's, the other one that stayed here. She was a dead girl walking all day long. She was just exhausted.
Yep,
She was
yep.
done, you
Perfect.
know. But it was cool. It's 70 degrees. Nice. We took them to the lava tubes up there, roamed around. It's just a nice, kid packed, family friendly weekend. So just a fun.
That sounds good, actually. That sounds very enjoyable. Being that I am a childless man and Narina's a childless woman, we probably wouldn't have fit in as well because we didn't even have any kids to stay up in the tent. But it sounds like a good time would have been had by all.
Yeah, we made lemonade out of lemons. You're right.
Lemon. Hey, that's what maybe we'll call the show that lemonade out of lemons
Yeah. So what'd you
because
do?
we've had a lot.
We have.
Oh man. So what'd you do though? Did you party? Did you just
Oh,
it was all kids stuff.
oh yeah. For the most part, we hung around the house, man. That's really what it was. Like the adults we hung around the campfire. We set up a campfire in the back and let the kids make s'mores. But we just kind of hung out and visited and bullshitted and whatnot. And And a buddy of mine that came up with his 2 kids because his wife was going to a concert, so he was playing single dad for the weekend. He needed some relief, so he and his kids came up, and
fun.
I rode with him to the Lava Tubes on Saturday, and he's a good friend of mine, and we were just laughing, and we got into a conversation on the way back because all the kids are passed out. And I'm going to ask you this question because I think it's kind of a fun question to ask. Is
Okay.
If you were driving down a long highway, middle of the night, middle of the day, whatever, just you're the only one on the road as far as the eye can see, and an alien spacecraft stopped right in front of you, and you had to interact with an alien species, and they said, "Hey, you can get on the ship, and we will show you our planet. We will show you everything. We won't do any weird experimentations unless you want it, but." We will show you whatever we can show you to share knowledge. Do you go? You're
okay.
taking these life
Aliens.
forms at their word.
At their
These
word.
alien life forms at their word that they will in fact do nothing to you, but you can't say for sure.
Yeah, I can really tell you honestly, I have no interest in going into space. I have no interest in going to another planet. So I would say no to the aliens respectfully because I don't want them to force me and do the anal probe. But
okay, well, what if they said it's tit for tat with the anal probe? Like, all right, if we do it, you get to do it to us. But if you don't want to go to space, you don't have to go to space.
Okay. Yeah, no. So if I just got on the ship basically, but stayed in the in Earth.
Yeah, if they're like, hey man, you want to check out Singapore? We will get you there in 5 seconds.
Yeah. I
Flight
think
of the Navigator style.
Yeah, I don't have that kind of desire to learn about stuff like that. So I would turn it down.
All right.
I don't. What about you, Scotty? I mean, I'm assuming I know the answer, but for our listeners and for the first timers that might be listening to this episode for the first time in Russia or France or South Africa or wherever you're listening from, what about you?
You know, I'm going to be honest with you. I would have to say I would venture to get on that ship.
Wow.
You know, I know you're not supposed to talk to strangers. I know you're not supposed to get into strange vehicles with people you don't know. And for all we know, this is that alien ship's version of free puppies and candy.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
But
let me ask you this though. See, because now the thing I do worry about is I had heard one time a long time ago that if someone traveled at the speed of light for 1 hour, that when they got back to Earth, a baby would be the age of an old man.
oh wow.
Because of the way that time works. That's a theory, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So my biggest concern is that I would leave, I would go to their planet, I would meet some really cool aliens, and when I come back, everyone that I care about would be gone, dead.
That's fair. So what if you got to ask that question? So let's just say, for the sake of the argument, they said, no, Jason, we don't travel at the speed of light. We utilize wormholes and interdimensional travel. So we can basically create a rip in the fabric of the time space as you know it and get to where we want to be with no lost time.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna still pass. But thank you though. Thank you.
I mean, that's fair.
742. But you know, I love that. I love the fact that you are game for that, Scott. That's like really cool.
Yeah, well, you know, I didn't say I want to go off world like you. I mean, I'm very curious, and I would say a lot would have to do and I don't want this to sound bad or presumptuous, but at the appearance of the aliens.
Oh, I do think that's because the other thing is that not only the appearance, but the way that they're talking to me. For example, if they're talking telepathically and they're just in my brain, I would not like that at all. But
no,
if
I
the
wouldn't
guy's like, "Hey, I'm Jarvis, and I'm ready to like talking normally," that I could maybe. I don't know. I probably still wouldn't leave, but okay.
Yeah, but if they're like a 6 foot tall blonde woman and blonde man, in appearance, human in appearance, both very good looking. I mean, you would feel a reasonable level of security versus something that looked like a praying mantis or a reptilian.
Yeah, I
Would you
would
not?
say that would make a huge difference. Yeah, if they looked like
Because
an alien or something like that, yeah, that would definitely scare me. What
because
about the
that is probably the big.
Go ahead.
So that's probably the biggest caveat I have is that if they looked too, I don't want to say uncomfortable, but if they didn't appear as something I'd be comfortable traveling with, that'd be a hard pass.
Like, do you remember the movie Prometheus?
Yes.
So if they came out looking like those guys,
Ooh.
see, I'd be a little scared because those guys look a little scary to me.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
because I also
if they look like Princess Leia, like normal people, then I might be able to do that.
yeah, but when you're arguing a human being versus a xenomorph, it's two very different arguments as to why you should or should not go. You know, and um, when you bring up Prometheus, you're absolutely right. You know what? I'm out. Never mind. Good luck.
Yeah.
Try Venus. I'm sure the people up there are fantastic, but this is not my cup of
What do
tea.
you think a Venetian would look like?
A Venusian?
A Venusian, yeah, Venusian.
I don't know. You know, I really
I
don't
mean,
know.
I would think they'd have to like have really hard scales. They probably would not because it's so hot there and so much pressure that I think that they would have to have some sort of exoskeleton that was really hard, really strong, you know?
See, but I think at that point you're assuming they live on the surface.
True. They probably are like Dune and they live underneath where the
So
water is.
yeah, so if they live underneath where there's water, they don't necessarily have to have that appearance. Not to say they don't have an appearance like that, but I think it creates more options. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I think the look of the alien would make a huge difference to me. That being said, I probably still wouldn't go because I like Earth. It's my home, you know.
I
I know
get
we're
it. I
gonna,
mean,
I know we're gonna not have an Earth in 100 years, but you know, in the short
that
term,
won't be your problem though either.
yeah. Well, you know, yeah, exactly. My
Yeah. So,
dad, my dad used to think that way that if he had a chance to explore the universe, but knew that he would never come back to Earth, he said he would do it.
it's hard, man.
Yeah, I mean, he was like, oh, I would totally do it. I would totally go with the aliens and explore the universe. And I said, even if that meant you could never see me again. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. Nothing personal, kid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this isn't it. This isn't you. This isn't about you.
It's not you. It's me.
It's not you. It's me. It's me. That's right.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So it's that guy. It's I always like hearing those conversations or having those conversations with people because you never quite know the answer. You can think you know the answer, judging on the way you know the person, but you can always be pleasantly surprised. You know.
Yeah, I think that that's the key thing too. Is do you learn something about a person when you find out the answer too?
Yeah.
To a question like that. I think you do. Like you find out a lot about people when you like. We talked about this that on Facebook over the last 4 years, how much we've learned about people through Facebook that we had never guessed before 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh yeah.
You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Like, and once you learn that, you do make some assumptions or some changes to, you know, what
Yeah.
a
Good,
person
bad.
is to you.
Yeah. Good, bad, or indifferent. You know those personality traits or those things that people post. You generally find out about someone's real character. Excuse me. And when that happens, it changes your opinion.
Yeah.
But not necessarily in a bad way. Sometimes in a good way. Like, oh yeah, I didn't realize this person would do that. Yeah, if they get on the rocket ship, if they're going to do it, why wouldn't I?
Yeah,
You know?
well, and we've talked about this before that so many of us keep so much underneath the mask, underneath the facade. You know, we don't know a lot of people. Like we've had friends where we knew them for 2, 3, 4 years, and then all of a sudden, in a moment of honesty or a moment of closeness, they reveal something that never would have guessed about
Yeah,
that person, and you're like, wow, how did I not know that?
yeah. I missed the boat on that one. Yeah, and
Yeah.
all the clues are right there. No, I get it completely. I completely get that.
Oh my
It
gosh. Um, finish your thought, but that reminded me of something I wanted to talk to you about.
no, actually, when you said, "Oh my gosh," I forgot what I was going to say. So,
Oh, okay.
would you have?
Well, that that whole thing about not knowing a person kind of got me thinking. I had watched a documentary on Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
and the documentary was called Outage,
Uh huh.
Outage, and Basically, the documentary was it focused and did research on when politicians who are in the closet, so they're gay, but they're not out of the closet yet.
Yeah.
And it talks about a group of these politicians who are in the closet, but they were making policy against gay rights in the United States at a very punitive and aggressive level. And so it talked about a handful of politicians who, when they were doing a documentary, they found people who said, yeah, that person's totally gay. I've had relations with that person. And then they would take the person who is in the closet, has the beard, wife, kids, and they start identifying their voting rights when it comes to gay marriage, gay rights, gay protections. And I was shocked how many people are in the closet, but yet, because they have to feed the political demons, they were passing laws and voting for laws that would punitively hurt gay people.
I guess my first question to that is did they name names?
Yeah, in the show, they there's a guy, there's a man who is gay who actually purposefully outs politicians who have this kind of track record where the person blogs about, I've talked to this person, this person, this person. All three of these people have had a sexual encounter with this politician. This politician is gay, and basically his whole life or her whole life is a facade.
Huh. Good for them.
Yeah. Well, it got me thinking though, because I don't, like, for example, I'm a heterosexual man. Okay, I'm heterosexual. But if I was telling everyone that I was gay out, but I'm really a heterosexual, it would be very, very tough for me then to pass laws against heterosexual people if I'm a heterosexual secretly.
Yeah.
Or in this case, these people are gay and they're passing laws that hurt gay people. Like, how do you live with yourself doing that? But the second thing I got go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I think a portion that has to start with this their own guilt and deniability. They might not consider themselves gay because they have a beard wife and they have kids. They just might think it's these laws they're passing don't necessarily apply to them because they have all the things that on paper make them heterosexual versus what they truly are.
Well, and I mean, once you get into the politics, I recognize that in this show, the majority of the people that were outed by this blogger were Republicans. And they tried to explain, like, well, how did they become a Republican if they're gay? And their explanation was, well, they're closeted, first of all, but second of all, the political wheels that promote support for politicians and get supporters involved with voting for politicians, once you go down that slippery slope, then you're kind of obligated to support your voter base. Well, if your voter base thinks that you're a God-fearing, gay-hating politician, it's kind of hard for you to then say, oh, but I voted for gay rights, or oh, I voted for gay marriage, or and so I could see how you get trapped in that world.
Yeah.
And then
no, I can see that too, and not on that level, but when you talk about which political party you have to identify as, even on a local level, I've seen that where I'm at, there are plenty of people that go to our Young Republicans meetings that are clearly not young Republicans online, but they know that if they want to speak to the majority of the community, they have to have a little R next to their name in this case and be able to go speak where they have regular meetings to talk about politics. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Especially like Mojave County.
Yeah.
If you're not an R, the chances of you winning a public office is probably a lot more difficult than if you were in Flagstaff.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. So it's almost becoming a gaming the system at that point on a local level. But when you start getting into a state and national level, then it becomes a little trickier, you know.
right? Yeah, like would Kirsten Sinema be as open about her sexuality if she was a Republican?
Well, she basically
I
is. She just has,
Well, what I mean is she's currently registered as a Democrat. She won
yes.
her Senate seat on the Democratic ticket, so she has been very open about her sexuality, and not in all cases, but in most cases, if you are on the left side of the political spectrum, you have a little bit more tolerance toward the views of how the majority of gay people look at the world than if you were on the Republican side and, you know, carrying a view that might go against some of your supporters.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I feel like if there's going to be a documentary like you watch, that it's going to be more based on people in a right leaning political party than a more liberal leaning political party, just uh, based on what those parties stand for. You know,
Yeah.
if you were in the closet as a Democrat, I would be curious as to why you would be in the closet as a Democrat, because I would imagine that voter base is all about equality and wanting uh, you to be you and not be afraid of your sexuality or what you want in life, versus the other side, which to put it bluntly, leans heavily to the white Christian faith and belief system.
Well, and this documentary did a really good job of painting the struggle or the difficulty with these politicians because, you know, in a lot of cases, like they gave one case where a pretty prominent political person came out and it destroyed his marriage with his wife because she was like totally shocked
Well,
that this was
isn't
going
that what
on.
you want though? If you're going to come out, I mean, if you're married, and you come out of the closet. Do you think your spouse is going to be accepting of the fact that you are not a heterosexual?
I don't think so. I don't think Noreen would be with me if she knew I was gay. Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
I don't.
if she found out that I was gay, I
Uh
don't
huh.
think she would stay with me.
Oh, I don't think she would either. For that fact, it's
Yeah.
I'm sure she knows you're a wonderful person and whatnot, but
Well,
that means you are.
yeah, we had this conversation before. Remember, like, could you love someone if you found out that the girlfriend that you had used to be a guy? I mean, it would definitely shock you, but mainly more because you lied to me about it. You know, you let me get emotions and feelings, and I know it's bad of me to say that because feelings should be able to transcend
Transcend.
all that
Yeah.
other stuff. But the reality is, we live in a different kind of world, and it probably doesn't.
No, I can agree with that completely, and I think you hit the nail right on the head with that. It's we want to say on paper that, yeah, I could probably love someone if I found something out like that for who they are, but like, could you stay with them in a I guess a heterosexual relationship like you're in? No, I don't know if it's fair at that point. If it's
Yeah.
okay. If you're married, there's a lot of tax implications, fine, or other wealth implications for everything you've built over the years, and you decide just to have a quiet, open marriage. That's one thing. What you do is your business, but unless you could come to some kind of agreement, it would be hard to be in that relationship.
I think the other thing that this documentary got me thinking about is this is just the House of Representatives. How many people in our lives are gay and we have no idea? Like,
Oh yeah.
not even in our lives, just in general. How many people are closeted gay people who live normal lives and live as straight people, but are closeted gay people and never know? They're walking around and no one knows the difference, and then all of a sudden, I mean, I know Caitlyn Jenner isn't gay, but up until he kind of came out that he wanted to be a woman, I never equated anything other than Bruce Jenner, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
all I equated to. And then it was like, oh my gosh, this guy's been dealing with this for his whole life. You know what I mean?
I guess I need some clarification on that in particular situation, because I don't pay a lot of attention to the Kardashians, and and that. So I do know that he's transgender, but
Yes, he's transgender.
He's not post-op. He's just transgender.
I thought the transgender was the surgery was done.
Well, there's pre-op and post-op.
Oh, okay. I thought he had the surgery done.
I don't know. I thought he hadn't yet. So, if
And
he
that's a weird
hasn't,
one too, because he's transgender, but he still dates women.
no, that's it. So does that
So
make
is he a lesbian now, or is he a
you see
woman who? I mean, is you know what I mean? Like, wow, that my mind's blown now.
Yeah. See, now we're digging ourselves into a very sketchy rabbit hole that I'm not sure we really want to be diving around into. It's
I think that the thing that upset me most about the documentary is the reality is that gay people in the United States, while things have definitely improved, are still very, very against gay people. I mean,
yeah.
the laws are not the laws are not friendly to gay people. People make judgments about. I mean, the hate crimes are still
I think it's
a problem.
I think it's more
And
than just
for some politician to punitively attack people that in all reality he or she belongs to that group is just so infuriating to me. Like,
yeah, but it's more than just gay people though. It's a lot of minorities these days, and you see it a lot in states like Texas and Florida right now with some of the laws that they're passing through their House legislature or their in-state legislature, I should say. And as a country, we want to think we're more progressive than most other countries, but when it comes down to it, we still have a major problem with a lot of this stuff that we thought we've solved years ago. And what's something we've seen over the last couple of years is that people have felt more empowered to come out and speak openly about their distaste, their disrespect, their I don't want to say, well, I guess some of their views that would oppose modern equal rights is the best way to put it.
well, and what I've found is that the people that are the most ardent advocates of that kind of mean spirited feelings toward these groups, with all due respect, you have no room to talk. Like,
Yeah.
who the hell are you, like, to judge this person because they are different than you? Who the hell are you
It
a
comes
lot
down
of times,
to guilt. It comes down to
maybe.
self-guilt and self-hatred, because a lot of those people and I said it earlier, they claim to be, white Christian, followers of Christ, but at the end of the day, if they're not practicing what they preach,
Yeah,
they hide behind the book, but they don't walk the book, and that's part of the problem with where we're at in today's world.
yeah, and we live in a society where you've heard these stories about a closeted gay person who purposefully fights or beats up a gay person so that no one knows that the closeted person
Yeah,
is gay. And
that's not okay.
it frustrated me. I guess the only thing I would say is that if you're open to kind of watching an interesting documentary, it's on Netflix. It's called Outage, Outage, and no matter where you are on the spectrum, right or left on the political spectrum, it's an interesting case of human character and human tendencies that some people just have such deep dark secrets that they're willing to sacrifice who they are to keep that secret.
Yeah, it's probably worth watching. If I can get some time, I'll check it out this week. But
Yeah,
as we wrap up today's
it's about
show,
an hour and a half, so it's a little bit less than a movie length.
okay, I'll check it out. So as we wrap up today's show, if you had a wild and crazy Labor Day weekend, if you did something fun, we want to hear about it. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at Liquid Carnage. Or if you want to take 3 wild guesses what our EP Tom did for his long weekend up in Denver, take your guesses to him on Instagram and Twitter at Liquid_EP.
I also want people to write to us about if they would go with the aliens. I'd be interested to know what the Liquid Courage listeners think about going with the aliens.
Yo, yeah, absolutely. I want to hear that too. So by all means, shoot us, slide into our DMs if you don't want to talk about the alien stuff publicly.
There you go. I love it. I love it.
That being said, Jason, take us home.
Wow, we went all over the place, man. But thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate you as always. That was Scott. I am Jason. And as always, if you never know quite what to say, just have yourself some liquid courage.